Hello, culinary arts students. Welcome back. We are wrapping up the first week of the semester. Thanks so much for your patience this week as we've been onboarding you into the course and you've been learning a little bit about me and about my expectations as your teacher this semester. Really appreciate that. And just want to jump in. We're going to wrap up just for a couple minutes here and connect about a couple classroom management things. And then I'm going to give you the remainder of the class period. We want to get the orientation quiz wrapped up today. That deadline is fast approaching, 3 p.m. today. So all assignments in this course are due by 3 p.m. on Fridays. And so the expectation is that, as I've said before, there is no assignments of homework in this course. The goal is for you to leverage the time in class and to complete the assignments and the learning while you're here with me. And it enables me to be here to support you in the learning experience and also ensures that you're not having to worry about this course outside of the scheduled class days. So let's jump on in, and we are going to go ahead and take a quick walk through just a couple things related to the classroom management experience, and then we're going to give you time to wrap up with the orientation quiz, which is due again at 3 p.m. today. Our learning objective here, a course overview. We will learn about course engagement and learning expectations. We'll be living around that expectation here for the next week or so before we get into some content. If there's any new students here, you want to have a conversation with me about where to sit, make sure that's taken care of. And again, we want to sit in our assigned seats and develop those relationships with our peers at our assigned stations. One thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to be handing out a piece of paper that has your name on it. And that piece of paper is going to be on a clipboard. And you're going to want to go ahead and identify if you have a nickname or preferred name. If you go by John instead of Johnny, or Johnny instead of John, or Gene instead of Eugene, or any type of abbreviated nickname that's reasonable, you can go ahead and put it on this document. So it's going to pass around. You're going to see your name on the piece of paper, and then an empty column to the right. Only if you want to go by a different name do you put something in that column. Otherwise, just leave it blank and pass it on by. Okay? Thanks for your cooperation with that. So the sign-in sheets will then be adjusted, and they'll have your nickname on them or your abbreviated name, so that when you sign in, you'll see that, and your peers will be able to see that, so we know what your preferred name to be called is. So that will be adjusted, as well as I will work over the next couple of weeks to make sure that I am adjusting my communication to you and using the name that you prefer. Okay. So thanks so much for your cooperation with that process. I'm going to go ahead and pass that around right now. So moving right along, if you are new to the class, and we still have students probably adding and dropping, feel free to ask me what the Google Classroom code is, and I'll get you set up with that so we can get you into Google Classroom and get you into the course orientation quiz. You should have completed the course orientation quiz. I'm going to go ahead and show you the quick overview video. If for some reason a new student's come in and they've missed that, this is the first video in the orientation quiz, which gives you a quick overview. So we're going to go ahead and play this really quickly for you, and then we're going to give you time for the remainder of the class period.
Hello, Battleground Culinary Arts students. This is Chef Fritz here, giving you an overview of the course orientation quiz. The quiz is required to be completed within the first week of the semester. If you are completing the quiz during the term as a new student, the intent would be that you complete it within 1 week of starting the class. The quiz is worth a total of 50 points to your final grade in the class. The goal of the quiz is two-pronged. One is for us to get better connected relationally, for me to get to know you, and for you also to get to know my expectations, but for us also to work together to deal with a lot of the technology and the systems that are in the class so that you understand how to leverage those systems to enhance your learning experience. Once you understand how to operationalize your use of Google Classroom, the Remind app, Ruby, the online cooking school, and other platforms in the class, this will ensure that then we can move on to focusing on your learning experience in the class. So a quick overview is going to consist of you completing, first and foremost, the course startup student survey. And this is an opportunity for me to get to know you as an individual, but to look for the themes of you as a collective class and understand your expectations as we approach the class, understand your backgrounds and your long-term career goals related to this course. Second, you're going to have an opportunity to more individually give me information about you by answering 4 questions in the class introduction, student self-introduction, Flipgrid video. You'll submit that again as part of the survey. Then we'll move on and have you register for Ruby, the online cooking school platform. And this is the platform where all of the content that I lecture about is housed, and where primarily all of the assessments in the class take place within the Ruby online cooking school platform. Then we'll move on to Google Classroom and ensure that you're registered for Google Classroom. And I'll give you an overview of the layout of Google Classroom, talking about the function of primary two platform announcements that live in the stream, and what you can do in the stream to get experiential learning credit in the class. And then I'll give you an overview of the classwork tab and how to access your final grades in the class throughout the semester. But again, this is intended to serve as an overview for you to better leverage the Google Classroom platform so that you can be successful in the course. Lastly, to ensure that we bundle everything with good communication, I'll have you register for the Remind platform. Many of you have worked with Remind in other classes. This is the platform that I use to communicate with you. What I encourage you to do is 2 things. One is minimize email correspondence with me over email, and preferably I would encourage you to use the Remind platform. The platform is a way that I can be more timely and responsive to your requests, so that if you're working on something at home, I hopefully can get back to you very fast within a reasonable time frame to help you be more successful in your learning at home and within the classroom. So Remind is going to be a way for you to more successfully communicate with me, where I can be more responsive to your needs. But then also it ensures that if you need help, you know how to get to me. Again, when you communicate to me in Remind, I know what class period you're in. When you communicate to me within any other platform of communication, please make sure that you preface your communication with me with what class period you're in. That will help us save time by me being able to look up your grade and be able to coach you and guide you throughout the learning experience. This is basically a simple and defined overview of the course orientation quiz. If you have additional questions, again, please hit me and Remind. Thanks so much. Happy cooking and have a great semester ahead.
Okay, so that's a quick overview of what to expect with the orientation quiz, and the goal is for you to complete that today, right? Required to be wrapped up by 3 p.m. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to release you to working on the orientation quiz. And if you need to complete the Flipgrid portion of the quiz, feel free to check in with me, and I have no problem if you step out into the hallway to complete that. This is not time for you to gather in the hallway and horseplay. It's time for you to complete the Flipgrid, then come back into the classroom. If you do have the orientation quiz complete, you can look ahead and what we're doing next week and the content that we're covering, and feel free also to work on items from other classes. I'll be circulating and ensuring that everybody has the orientation quiz completed during the class period. So thanks so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy conclusion of the first week of the semester.